Hello and welcome to my podcast show. I am Nancy DeLeonardi and I am so happy that you are here with me today. I know that it's been a minute since I put out a show, but there's been a transition with the company that I record from, which was Spotify for podcasters. They actually converted to a new company called Riverside, and technology changes and it is just not the same. The other application was so easy. I'm not trying to complain here, but that's the reason why there's been a delay in me producing my shows. But I'm back. I'm here. This is the first one today. And there's a video here that you can see. So, let's see how it goes, right? So, welcome, welcome. I am so happy to be recording. I actually love recording podcasts and sharing information with you. And a lot of times, I will do a podcast that actually complements the blog post that I write. And some I just do one-offs because I just want to talk about things. But today I'm excited to talk about decluttering. Decluttering. It's top of mind for me because I actually just did it myself. And I wanted to talk about like the benefits of it and, the practice of it and all the good things that could come from decluttering. Because if you declutter your life, it just happens to create more space for more and helps you live a stress-free life. So today, that's what I want to do. I want to talk about it. So what do you think? Do you like the idea of becoming a minimalist? Quasi. Okay, baby steps. Everything is baby steps, right? So that's what I want to talk about. So understanding what minimalism is about. So it's just about really, I think, being mindful of things that you have in your home and, things that bring you pleasure when you look at them, but don't create like stress with taking on a lot of things. So your home and your space doesn't have to look like a sterile, you know, unlived in non-welcoming area. It can be, you can be a minimalist and your house can be very, very cozy. So minimalism actually is about focusing on what really matters, right? Reducing excess and simplifying your life. It's not just about owning fewer things, but it's also about creating space for what brings you fulfillment, right? What are the things that bring you joy? It can also reduce stress, right? Fewer possessions creates less clutter, and less clutter makes more calming, atmosphere, calming, peaceful environment. It helps you improve focus because I don't know about you, but for me, when there's like disarray and things are not put away, it's kind of like a distraction, right? So if you could just help, reduce that for yourself, it can improve your focus, right? So having a simpler space can enhance your ability to like concentrate and be more productive. Believe it or not, right? Because we all like, you'll get the mail, right? You get the mail and you have junk mail. A good habit of mine is actually I get rid of my junk mail immediately. I don't hold on to trash. And okay, don't judge me. I don't recycle. The reason why I don't recycle is because I don't save trash. And I look at it as saving trash, right? I will do eco-friendly things in other ways, but I don't save trash because to me it's clutter and I'm not holding on to clutter. So I just get rid of it and I feel like there's only I could do a whole another podcast on this because they can only recycle so much volume. They can't recycle 100% of what we're doing a good effort, so we think we're recycling that. But if you think about the recipient of all of that recycling, they can only recycle so much of it, and then the rest of it ends up back in the landfill. So I learned that a long time ago, and when I realized that, I thought, I can't hold on to trash. That's my personal choice. I'm not saying that you should do that. You do what you feel is right for yourself. But you know me, I'm going to be upfront. I'm going to tell you what I do. So that's what I do. And you create freedom when you have less stuff, and it means that you worry about fewer things and you maintain what you have more organized, and then it gives you more time to fulfill your life with more meaningful things, right? So if we have a lot of things, that you have to maintain them. You have to clean them, you have to clean around them and put things away. And so the less that you have, the less that you're taking time from your life to constantly maintain those things. So I actually am a big advocate of statement pieces. That's kind of how I roll. So I had a big life change about, you know, 10 years or so ago now, a little bit more than that. But when I started my new life over again, I kept some things that were sentimental to me, things that I loved from the day that I got it, and I wanted to keep them, the things that I was able to keep. I wanted them with me to this day. But I like big, bold statements. So I like huge artwork or a big, statement. I don't like a lot of things, a lot of clutter, just statement pieces. And when I look at that piece, it brings me joy, right? I have a huge planter. That's it. One gigantic planter. That's it. I have huge paintings on the wall. That's what I like. I like big. And, that works for me. I also have a collage of just pictures on one wall. You know how you have that odd wall in your house and you're like, what am I going to do? It's kind of like it's always with a stairway or something. And I took pictures of people that mean so much to me in my life, people that matter to me in my life and different occasions. And I made a collage of all of those people, me with in the photos with all of those people as a reminder of the blessings that they are in my life, that I was able to meet them on my journey and the good times that I've had with them. So I have done that because it's a statement piece. It's a wall. It has different pictures, in a sequence that was pleasing to me. And that's where it is. So I don't have like a ton of pictures everywhere. I have a wall. And basically, I have that wall. And I also have like one other place in my house where I have a few photos as well. But that's it. I don't have stuff all over the place. So I'm sharing with you things that I've done that work for me to help you, maybe inspire you to, perhaps change something up in your home. So again, it just allows you to have more time to do things that you love. You can start small, start small with decluttering like one small area, like a drawer. It kind of, when you start small, you build momentum. I'll tell you this is what I did. I had a junk drawer, okay, from day one. And I don't know why I automatically in the kitchen deemed this drawer a junk drawer. And I think perhaps because all of my life, I've always had a junk drawer, that things that you don't want to throw away, you don't know when you're going to use it again, just put it in the drawer. And for some reason, I never organized that drawer, like ever. It was just literally my junk drawer. And I would put, tape in there, like Scotch tape you use every once in a while, right? A tape measure would go in there. Those odd utensils, like a rolling pin that you don't use that often, it would go in there. Just odd things, right? Outlets to your phone, phone chargers, maybe an extra one that you might need when you go on vacation. Those kind of things I put in a junk drawer. And when I started this thing for myself, this decluttering in the month of July 2024, right? I started like with that drawer. I thought, you know what? In all this time, I opened it as just chaos, just chaos. This drawer was like, stop. It would stress you out if you took a look at it, right? So I thought, let me start with this drawer. And I actually organized the drawer. I threw so many things away and I put batteries. I had like extra batteries, double A's, triple A's. I put them in little compartments. I had little, like pens or pencils, and I put them in a little bin. And I organized it so that when I opened the drawer, everything was now organized. And I thought to myself, why haven't I done this before? And that kind of started like the momentum, right? Like, oh, it feels good to open the drawer and I can see my scissors and I can find a pen and I can find a piece of scrap paper if I need it. And, that kind of, just made it obvious to me how decluttering actually simplifies your life. And that was what was started the momentum. So if you have a drawer like that in your home, right, it could be, it could be your sock drawer, right? That you just have socks everywhere. It could be a drawer where you, I don't know, put excess papers in or things that you think you're going to get to. Start with that drawer and then move on from there, because you can, then you get momentum and then you can start like making a bigger plan for yourself. And you can set goals, right? And you identify the items that you want to declutter, and you can declutter them every week. You can plan like like a project, and every week I'm going to start, on a new section. You can start with a drawer, then you can start with the whole kitchen, another drawer. You can start with the cabinet, glasses, like start there. You could start with your refrigerator. Actually, you could start with your refrigerator if you haven't cleaned it out in a while. You could start with your pantry. Just start somewhere. And then, I'm telling you, I want you to write to me and DM me or message me and let me know if you've done this and how it works for you. Because again, I will bring you on. I'm here talking to you, and I love guests. I love people. I love meeting new people. And, I want to talk about if this inspired you to take on a new clutter free home, and how that's helped you, and how did you get started? What did you start with? What room did you start with? And see, because also what happens is when you're decluttering, then, you actually, for me, I always have a donate. So you have your trash, you have your keep, trash, donate, right? Three. It's no matter what you're decluttering, those are your three buckets, right? You're going to keep it, you're going to trash it, or you're going to donate it, right? To me, donating is probably my biggest pile. And it is the most rewarding pile because, there's a saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure, right? And it's true because I look at things as, it served its time for me. It was a benefit to me while I had this thing, and I enjoyed it while I had it, but I no longer have use for it. Time is up for it. Time for me, but it's still in good condition. I don't need to throw it away. It's still useful. It's not broken. I personally don't want the money for it. I really feel, this is my personal opinion, that there's more power in giving than selling, right? Now, if you really need money, now I don't know what's going on. I just saw a bunch of balloons go up. So if that happens when I publish this, this is a new format. This is a new platform. I have no idea what's happening here, but I just saw a bunch of balloons go up. Now, before I saw a thumbs up go up, I don't know. So my apologies. Until I figure this platform out, I am sorry look at it as a comedy show. Good grief. Anyway, what was I saying? I feel like unless you need money, like if you really need extra money for whatever, then definitely sell it and get what you can for it. And know that you're probably going to just have to give it away at a very minimal nominal cost because you're most likely not going to recoup it for what you paid. The choice is yours. For me, I don't really go that route. I either have my three piles, right? I have trash, keep, and donate. I don't have sell pile. I don't have that. Because I feel like, karma is real, and what you put out into the world will come back to you. And I live by that premise. So for me, when I give something away, I give it away in the fact that, like I just said, it's still functional. It's not broken. Somebody could use it. I just don't have a need for this anymore. And so I'm helping someone in need, because if I take it to Goodwill and that item, they get to sell it, so Goodwill gets to make money from it, and that item actually serves another purpose in perfectly good condition. There's nothing wrong with it. So the person who couldn't perhaps afford it brand new was able to afford it used at a really good deal. So they benefited, Goodwill benefited, and I benefited, right? So I always give things away because I want to help people the best I can. And so that's what I do. I don't, you could give things away free. There are markets out there. I think Facebook Market, there are places where you could, just give it away and take it to a church. There are many, many avenues that you could do to give things away. So the choice is yours. Just think about, that, because you will reap the benefits of it. I promise you. Over time, you will reap the benefits of it. And so speaking of benefits, what are the benefits of decluttering? I talked about that a little bit, but it's really just the process of, removing unnecessary items from your life, and then you're stepping into a minimalist lifestyle quasi, right? Like, you're not taking a whole right turn and changing your whole life. You're you're kind of getting a haircut. You're cleaning it up a little bit, right? You're tidying it up a little bit, which is a step to another phase, right? So again, it gives you mental clarity because tidying up an environment can lead you to a clearer mind, and when you have a clearer mind, then it helps your mental health. So there's a benefit there. Enhanced creativity. You can definitely be more creative with less distractions, right? You can unleash your creative potential now that you've got the space. Like, say you had a room and you had stuff all over your room and you really like wanted to, I don't know, scrapbooking was a thing, or you want to create art, or you want, paint, you want to do puzzles. I know a lot of people that love puzzles, and whatever that is, but you really just don't have a dedicated place in your home because you've had maybe this space that's just been maybe neglected. And now you've freed up space, you've put things away, you've tidied things up, you let things go, and now you have room to be creative with this project that you haven't really done because you really have been distracted, really. And so, it improves your relationships too. Did you know that? That decluttering space can lead to more harmonious interactions with family and friends, right? Because you don't really have something in the back of your mind like, I have to get to it, you know? Um, Again, that you can start by like the processes that I shared with you. And simplifying your space involves creating an environment that is functional, aesthetically pleasing, and free of excess, right? So the benefits of that are, easier maintenance, like I talked about earlier, right? Easier maintenance that you just don't have to spend a whole lot of time, cleaning around it. You have more joy in your life, increased joy, because you're surrounding your things with key items in your life. Every time I've traveled, again, I've brought back something that really, again, a statement piece. Most of the time it's a statement piece, but when I went to Paris, I got a piece of artwork. It was a painting on canvas. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. And I framed it, and I see it every single day, and it brings me such joy. It's on the wall, big piece. And then I got a Eiffel Tower. There's a whole story with this Eiffel Tower olive oil container. You want to hear it? I'm going to derail, right? So when I went to Paris, we did the tour of Paris, the Eiffel Tower, pardon me. You can go inside the Eiffel Tower and go up to the top. And believe it or not, there's a restaurant in there and there's a gift shop. And so for me, I had to buy things in the gift shop, right? Because I'm like, how cool is this I actually bought it inside the Eiffel Tower. Like, to me, that's not just buying something in a store, although I did get like my I'll just leave that there. But anyway, I'm in the gift shop, and they had Eiffel Towers, glass Eiffel Towers with olive oil in it. So it was French olive oil in a glass bottle, and it was really cool. And I thought, I'm gonna get that, right? Because I could see that in my kitchen every day. I'm in my kitchen, and I cook with olive oil all the time, right? I'm like, a French olive oil, that would be so great. And then when I run out of it, I just could always fill it up, and that would be my olive oil container. And it's the Eiffel Tower, and I will always remember that, where I got it, inside the Eiffel Tower. Isn't that cool? I thought so. Anyway, get on the plane in Paris, Charles de Gaulle. Okay, it's in the carry-on. 8-hour flight. 8-hour flight from Charles de Gaulle to Philadelphia. Philadelphia flight to Richmond was 1 hour. Well, apparently, that olive oil was a major risk in that 1 hour trip from Philadelphia to Richmond. So, they were going to confiscate my Eiffel Tower, and I was not having it. And I had the head of the TSA guy, and I'm like, you cannot have that. And then I said, my compromise is you empty the oil out, but you give me that container. That is my container, and you are not having it. So painfully, I had to give up the French olive oil to get that container to Richmond in a 1 hour flight. Now, I'm a very logical person, and things that make sense, and when they don't, they don't. And I even said to the TSA guy, this Same olive oil, just got off an 8-hour flight across the ocean, and the French people had no problem with it. But in America, I have not opened that suitcase. I have not touched that suitcase. I have not left the airport. I have gotten off one plane and I'm going through another one. I've not touched a thing, that apparently this is now a problem in the United States. And he said it is. I'm like, then why aren't air regulations universal? If it was okay in Paris, then it should be okay in America. Now you tell me there's a disconnect there, but I'm not going to derail. That's the story with the Eiffel Tower. But back to my point. I love to have things around me that are meaningful. So every time I look at that, I have a story. But anyway, that's what I would like for you to have. I would like you to have things in your home that bring you pleasure and, that you can, enjoy and not have clutter. So, you'll have better functionality and a well-organized space. Sorry about that. I have another device here that's ringing. My apologies. Again, this is all new. Enjoy the show. But, we could talk about other things you could do to declutter, right? So we talked about drawers. We talked about starting with your drawer. You talked about you could start with your car. You could start with a refrigerator. And then another thing you could do is actually start in your closet with your wardrobe. When you simplify your space, and you go through your clothing, that again, you look at your clothes and you think, do I really need this? There was a rule that I had a long time ago, which was if I had not used an item in 1 year, then I didn't need the item. Because if you need it, you're going to use it. And typically, when it comes to clothes, we gravitate to the same wardrobe regularly. We have our favorite jeans, favorite leggings, favorite top, favorite coat, favorite shoes, and you tend to have other choices, but you will gravitate to the same ones over and over again. And that is why really genius people who really are creative and trying to make a difference in the world, they don't spend time on deciding what to wear. A lot of them, I think Einstein, and I don't know if Elon Musk, but there are other people. I think Steve Jobs, he was one of those who just wore the same thing every day. He didn't have to think about, that was one less decision he had to make because, we make how many thousands of decisions a day? It was one less that he made. So again, because we have a wardrobe full of clothes, you will wear the same outfits over and over again. But yeah, we do need different clothes, right? We need clothes when we go on vacation. You need summer clothes, winter clothes, house clothes, going out clothes, date clothes, fancy clothes, we do need those different things. Well, you have to keep them organized, right? And you have to think, how many pairs of shoes do you need? I'm not going to go there because I love my shoes. So, just keep them organized, and maybe even if it's seasonal, but keep them tidy and keep them in a place where, they're not cluttered and not all over the place, that they are tidy. And I know that, there are shoe boxes that you can get. I think the Container Store has them, and I'm sure you could get them on Amazon. I do have my storefront page, so I have a storefront to my blog because I wrote a blog about this, and then I have an Amazon storefront where you can get items, that'll help you stay organized. And again, I'm an affiliate marketer, so I have a little disclaimer out there related to that. But I'm not trying to push products. I'm just trying to help you simplify things. But I didn't put this in my storefront because I don't know if Amazon sells them, but they sell everything, don't they? But you can get clear shoe boxes and they're stackable. And that way you can put them all in there and see them, and then they're easy to access, and then they're clean, they're clutter-free and nice. So I definitely would, suggest doing that. But, sentimental items too, like sentimental items. They're the hardest to get rid of. They really are. Because, they're sentimental, right? And the older that you are and the more that you've experienced in life, the more you're going to have, right? So, my recommendation there is, again, pick the items that are meaningful to you and that you want to look at and have in your home. Another thing you can do is give them to someone in your family. Give the items to your children if they want them, ask them if they want them. And that way you feel like it's still in the family. You don't have it anymore, but it's in the family. That's kind of some kind of comfort for people, or you can take a picture of it and have that as a memory of it and then donate it. They're the hardest things to get rid of. But for me, I will tell you, because I've been through a lot in my life. I had a time in my life where all my material things were taken. Everything from my childhood and upbringing were gone, discarded, gone. And I had to learn that those things are always fresh in my mind. I will always have the memories, and no one can take the memories from me. They will always be in my head. So I learned from that painful experience to disassociate with that. Don't put all my investment, don't put all my energy into a tangible, this thing is everything. This thing that, because when it's gone, well, in my mind, I will always remember what that looked like. I always remember using it. I always remembered, the feeling I had using it, right? So you can survive. You will be okay if you no longer have those things that you gave away. So just know that you're able to part with them. And I will say, baby steps, right? Just try to baby step that away, and if you can't, maybe organize them in a container somewhere, and know that you have them in your possession, but they're in a container. But, I don't really know. I don't know what you have and what you've collected in your life, but some people have so much that they rent storage units to house it. And that to me is next level. Like, you should have all that you need in your home, and you shouldn't have excess. To me, a storage unit is basically you're in between homes, you're building a new home, and you're in an apartment, and you had to rent one till your home is built, and then you can take everything out and move into your home. To me, storage units are temporary holding place for your goods. They should not be an extension of your house. They should not. You need to start this so you don't end up there. Please, because that's all I'm going to say. Please don't be that person, right? It's for moving. If you're moving, temporaries. They're temporary. They're not like another room in your house. Because what's going to happen then? If you look at your rental unit, the storage unit that you have, right? And then you fill that to capacity. Okay, then what do you get? Another one? And then you've got your house, and you've got your garage, and then you've got storage unit 1 and storage unit 2 and you're going to keep on getting a storage unit because there's always going to be one to get. And you really, if you haven't looked at those things in a year, and unless you're moving to another country and you need to store them and you sold your house, I mean, that's one thing, that's a reason for it, but it's not a lifestyle. If you have a home that you're living in and you plan on living in it for a while, and you have these extra storage units, then really consider what's in there. And I recommend visiting them and going through your things and asking the question, is this still serving me? If it's not serving you anymore, will it serve someone else? Okay, I'll donate that. Is it trash? Okay, I'll trash it. So, really just try to get into that mindset. I think it will really help you, And, I think the more space that you have, to be in the present moment, because that's all we really have. These sentimental things are the past. They're the past. And so, like the olive oil, the Eiffel Tower, it's in the past, but it brings me joy, right? So I have that, and I have my painting, so, I don't have 100 million things of it, and so think about that for yourself, right? And what is going to bring you joy, because a lighter living, lightening up your life, with the fewer sentimental, heavy baggage storage stuff really leads to a simpler, healthier, freer life, actually. So, you want to keep memories and not objects, minimize that, and I think that will help you. Keepsakes, they're good for a little bit, but, really, you could make like a memory box too, like a box of your things. I could, like, for example, a box of Paris, or I went to Miami, a box of Miami things, and then that's your memory box. I think too, what I've done, I'll share this with you. You know those photo books? You can get a photo book. They're out there. Many, many companies. You can do a photo book. You could do a photo book of, the items that you had, and you holding the items, and you had the items, and then you have the book. The book is your memory, and the memory that you have in your mind. It really is as vivid as the item. It really is that powerful. Your memory is really, trust me when I tell you. A lot of things were gone that I had, the tangibles, but not here. So remember that. Did you know about digital decluttering? How about that? How many photos are on your phone and videos? How many emails do you have? You know, they just add up, don't they? I know for me, when I go out and they'll say, would you like a printed receipt or an email? I'm like, printed. I don't need any more emails. And you go through, like I go through and I unsubscribe from everything. I'm like, I don't need to hear that. I don't need this. I don't need this. Right. So that's what, you should do with decluttering digital. Right. So, it will enhance your productivity because you're always getting the messages, or you go in there and they're constantly coming in, aren't they? You can be going through your emails and they keep coming in. You're like, oh my gosh. Like, can you imagine going to your mailbox and then you're getting the mail and more mail, and you're getting the mail and more mail? The mail. Just because it's digital doesn't mean it's the same. Like, it's the same thing. It's like, do I need all this nonsense? I don't care if you're having a sale. You're having a sale every 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes, you're having a sale. Everybody's having a sale. No, thank you. So I shared the little stories with you. I hope that my little stories help you, right? But again, it leads to fewer distractions, right? And improve security, because you have to watch. Scammers are really good nowadays, and I will give you this piece of advice. Please hear me when I tell you this. Okay, you ready? I'm ready. I'm waiting for you to tune in. Do not click on a hyperlink of anything that is sent to you unless you know who's sending it to you. I'm going to repeat that. Do not click a hyperlink in anything, text or email, from anyone that you are not familiar with. Because once you click it, that spam has all your information. I don't open things. If I don't know it, I delete, delete, delete. You can go into, if you have an Apple phone, you can actually go to the email and click more and then down and block. I block everybody. I have security on my phone where if you're not in my there's the thumbs up again. What the heck? I have security on my phone that if you are not in my contacts, you will not get through to me. It goes straight to voicemail or bounces you right out. Can be annoying at times, but I prefer having that than not having it. So just be careful with digital, and that's why maintaining your digital declutter is really important, because you could go through it and hit something by accident and then you're toast. So really just be careful of that. Like I said, you want to unsubscribe and limit, all of that you have. So I hope that this podcast, the reason why I am talking about it and wrote about it is because it's something that I recently experienced myself. And I will tell you that I, started with the drawer, went into my closet, went into all the drawers in my home, straightened everything out, went and took multiple trips to Goodwill and gave things away to family. And it was liberating. And I say, I'm not one to hold things. Really, I'm not. And there's a saying, spring cleaning. There's always been the spring cleaning. And I think spring cleaning is because spring is a time of new and renewing and things coming back and fresh starts. And so when you declutter in spring, number one, it's an annual event. So it keeps you on target annually. If you like, so say now this is August now, 2024. This is August. So if you start this now and you haven't done it before and you start decluttering right now, then in spring, do it again. And then from spring forward, every year in spring, remind yourself to do your decluttering. And then that way it keeps you on track and you really don't accumulate a lot. The things that I got rid of were probably, maybe a year, and a couple months over, a year and a half over. But sometimes, I spring clean more than the year before, but I always am trying to keep up with not holding on to things, right? My biggest fear is I don't want to be that hoarder person, right? And not that I'm anywhere near it, but I don't want to hold on to anything and become attached to things because, like I said, they're just things. It doesn't really matter. Having an open space and a clean space and a space where you can relax, and when you look around your home, the things that you see bring you joy and bring you, pleasure, then that's what's really important, and not so much having all, because, so there's a saying, you can't see the forest for the trees, right? When you have so many things, how are you going to choose the one thing to look at? That's why I like statement pieces, because it's that, there's my Eiffel Tower in the kitchen. There's my painting of, on the wall from Paris. So try that and let me know, right? Because I think it will help you. And, I talk about things that I've done myself to help you live your best life, right? Because that's what I'm all about, right? Inspiring you to live your best life, doing the things that I do. I don't ever share anything with you that I have not done myself or used myself. So again, this is a, sister blog, if you will, to my blog. This podcast is really, a more of a conversation than the blog post for those of you who like to hear stories. And I hope this was entertaining for you. Thank you for sticking it out with me here. And thank you for your patience while I navigate through this new platform. And let me know if you like the video portion of this. And, what are we going to talk about next? More to come. So anyway, I appreciate you so much. I thank you for being part of this community. And I thank you for listening in and hearing me out. And I hope that you find this information useful and beneficial. I can't wait to hear your stories about decluttering. And, may you be blessed and let this inspire you today.